Hey there, Parker Reed here, and welcome to PR Media, your home for everything movies and music through my eyes. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new 4K Ultra HD edition of The Goonies. This film tells the tale of a band of adventurous kids who take on the might of a property developing company which plans to destroy their home to build a country club. When the children discover an old pirate map in the attic, they follow it into an underground cavern in search of lost treasure, but come up against plenty of dangerous obstacles along the way. The Goonies originally came out in 1985, the year that my mother graduated from high school, so it's seen a plethora of releases, everything from VHS, Laserdisc, DVD, Blu-ray. So should you pick up this new 4K disc? It's $25 upon release, so let's see what you're getting if you decide to pick it up. So if you decide to pick up the Goonies 4K disc, this is the slipcover you're getting. There's also a Best Buy Steelbook, but I just picked up the standard edition. And this is a beautiful image. I really like this image of the Goonies. On the back we just got some classic artwork as well. And this slipcover is really nice. Didn't come damaged to the Best Buy mailing system, so that was good to see. And we've got the same disc art on the front cover and the back cover as we did on the slipcover. Open it up. Kind of a boring disc here, but you got just a black disc there. And if you want to steal the code, go for it. First one who gets it gets it. And you get a Blu-ray disc as well, and that one's just a clear one with the logo as well. As a child of the 90s and early 2000s, of course I loved Goonies growing up. It's just a fun, adventure, lighthearted movie that you can watch over and over again. It doesn't get old when you become an adult. But I'd never owned it on Blu-ray, just kind of one I took for granted, one I've seen on cable a bunch of times. So when this 4K edition came out, I was like, let's upgrade it, let's watch it again, and let's see what we're getting. So prior to viewing this disc, I'd heard some horror stories about the visuals. I heard that the dark scenes, which is pretty much the second half of the movie in the cavern, is very hard to see. It's kind of muddy. But it seems like that was people that were watching it on projectors, because on my 75-inch LG, this looked phenomenal from start to finish on 4K. The light scenes, of course, are great. They're not very grainy. You can see the details on people's faces. And when you get into the cave, you can start to see all the details within it, all the different bugs crawling around, all the different booby traps laid around. Everything is very clear and well defined. I felt the black levels were awesome as well. So I don't see what people were complaining about as far as visuals go, because I really enjoyed Goonies on 4K, as far as the visuals go at least. Now when it comes to audio, that's where I start to have some problems with Goonies. Sure, the sound effects and the music sound really good. They pop out of the speakers. But the dialogue was sometimes hard to make out. And I freaking hate that. That's my least favorite thing about 4K. It seems like sometimes I have a hard time with the middle channel and getting the voices up to an appropriate level. And at the beginning of this movie, I was having to lean in a little bit, trying to hear what they were going on. And they were just in the living room talking at the beginning of the film. And that's not a very high energy or a lot of sound effects scene. So I was like, oh, this could be bad. Admittingly, it got better towards the end of the film, but I was starting to get worried. And overall, the audio is just fine. They have a DTS mix on this, DTS 5.1, and that's kind of standard. That's what the Blu-ray had, so I would have appreciated a Dolby Atmos track on this. I think this really would have benefited from that, and this being such a classic and one that's going to sell for years and years, they should have put the extra work in there. So the audio definitely needs some improvement on the Goonies 4K release. As for special features on the Goonies 4K edition, same thing you've been getting on the Blu-rays, and they're only on the Blu-rays, they're not on the 4K disc. So on the 4K disc, you're just getting the feature film, and that's fine by me. I really don't care about special features in 4K, but you probably want to know that going in. So should you pick up the Goonies on 4K Ultra HD? That's the question we're going to answer right now. And I would say hold off a little bit. Sure, it looks great and sounds great, but it's a bit expensive at $25 new. That's about 5 times the amount you could get it for on Blu-ray. And it's not worth that by any shot. If this was $15 or maybe 20, that it would be worth it, but 25 is just a bit too steep. And I don't know what it is, but this was hard to get a hold of. I mean, Target didn't stock it, Best Buy didn't stock it. I had to get this online, and then my order was delayed because of COVID-19. But for some reason, this title is having a hard time making it to store shelves. I'm not sure why, but you should know that going in too, that you might have to order it online. So, what do you think of the Goonies 4K release? Did you pick it up? Do you plan to pick it up? Or are you going to wait for a sale? Let me know in the comments below. My name is Parker Reed. You've been watching PR Media. Thank you so much for the support. Keep supporting physical media, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Join the adventure as Steven Spielberg presents The Goonies, a Richard Donner film.